Hello, hello. Yeah, so this stream's going to be a little bit different. I made a tier list maker with every single game that I put in that bracket. And there was quite a few of them. 48 specifically, I put top 50 because 2 off. Whatever, that's close enough, right? I already have a game under embargo that I cannot stream, so this will be this week's stream. And this is something I'm going to be posting over to my second channel. So, why not? Sure, let's do it. So, the online bracket I ran was quite interesting. Because the results were nuts. No, I mean, I don't really do walkthroughs, but I do play through games. This is public, by the way. So, I'm going to be linking this in the video making. So, this video, this Friday, should be a video talking about the online bracket tournament. For those of you that are not aware, hold on, let me bring it up real quick. Really quick. I'll bring it up on my second screen. Actually, no, I will not bring up that because that'll give you the results. But I'll open up my community tab real quick. All right. Here's my community tab and just scroll way down here. I've been doing a lot of these. Do I like all these games? Hell yeah, I do. They're all the best games of all time. I don't dislike any of them. I will say some of them probably shouldn't be here. Here we go. Okay. So I made this big... YouTube is being so slow. All right, whatever. That'll have to do. I made this huge bracket here with like 48 of the best games ever. And I just put out polls like every day in my community tab. Oh god, did those get salty real fast. People were shouting at each other. It just goes to prove that video game opinions are just politics when it comes to video games. People get so upset about them. If only they use that effort into actual politics. But yeah, I mean, just reading through some of these. I mean, I'm not even gonna read them because I'm gonna be going through. But yeah, I just put votes out for every single one of these. Let's just go here. And these are all the games. It doesn't look like 48 there, but there are 48 there. I'm going to be ranking them from just all top 50. The rows will be tiered. This is not really necessarily a tier list. This is more of literally just a list of what I think is the best game to the least best game. I don't know. None of these are bad. Let's just go through them in order. I will rearrange these as I'm ordering them, for the record. So, like, AVP2, great game. I don't know, I feel like I'll put it top 40 for now. This might move back. Oh, and by the way, that's a really important thing I forgot to mention. This is just single player. This is only single player. Only single player and co-op. PvP has no say on this. So something like Halo is going to lose some points because Halo is really big for multiplayer. So I'm not ranking it or judging it at all off the multiplayer. It's just single player only. And I felt like out of all the Bad Company games, I should probably explain that more because I have some rules on this. Only 2 games per franchise. Otherwise, this whole bracket would have just been 5 Half-Life games and Doom games and Halo games. The whole thing would have just been those 3 franchises or just a bunch of Far Cry games. And that would have been boring. So only 2 per franchise, which made it kind of complicated for 2 reasons. One, if I'm to put the best Far Cry games out there, I think in my mind, the 3 that jump out for most people would be Far Cry 2, Far Cry 3, and Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. But I'm only allowed 2. So I have to leave one of those out. And I chose to leave Far Cry 3 out because Far Cry 2 is the serious Far Cry game and then Blood Dragon is a silly one. And those 2 are awesome anyway. Those are my 2 personal favorites. So that's what I put there. And then there was Half-Life, which, I mean, the obvious ones, you just put Half-Life 1 and 2. But then what do you do for Black Mesa, right? Because Black Mesa, most people look at it like a canonical game, but it's not made by Valve. It's only endorsed by Valve. It's like in this weird gray area, so I also put Black Mesa in there. So it was weird. We had some of those rules. And then, of course, it was just single player only. Also, this is not the most popular game of all time list. A lot of people were super salty at me that I was like having indie games go against AAA games. And I'm like, well, I'm not excluding indie games just because they don't have billions of dollars behind them. That's not how that works. And it's a bracket. The ones that are most likely to win are going to fight each other in the end, not round 1. So this is just the natural result of that. That's how brackets work. Anyway, that doesn't matter here. Bad Company, where I feel like this also has to be somewhere in top 40. I'm gonna put it below AVP2. I might actually bump this down to in the 50s range, because Bad Company does have a really good campaign. Out of all the Battlefield games, I feel like Bad Company was the only one I could actually put in here, because I don't care what anyone says. Battlefield 3 has a bad campaign. 4 has a bad campaign. Battlefield 1 was just, it just existed. Like, those are not fantastic campaigns. It's really weird that so many people are so nostalgic for them. I don't get it. Battlefield 3 is a multiplayer game. Whatever. All right, BioShock. This one went really far in bracket. I kind of didn't expect it to beat some of the games that it beat. So, you didn't play any Battlefield game before 3? Yeah, that was pretty common. A lot of people started with Bad Company or Battlefield 3. Those are like their introductions to Battlefield. I started with... I had played the Battlefield games before Bad Company, but I really started playing the Bad Company. I think my favorite depends on the day you ask me. It's either Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 1. I love those two games. But that's for multiplayer. So, you know. But BioShock, I'm going to put this in top 20. Maybe controversial that it's not in top 10. I might bump it up to top 10. We'll see, but I tend to go more towards just raw shooters. Black Ops, I'm just having to put that down there. Like, I think Black Ops is the one Call of Duty game that, like, has a decent campaign, and it makes me not want to kill myself when playing it. But I don't think it's better than the other games. Like, I don't think it's bad. I will give Black Ops a lot of props. It's there. So. Left 4 Dead 2 is in your top 10. Left 4 Dead 2 kind of popped off. I was expecting it because it's a Valve game, but it's also a little bit weird. So. Doom Eternal instead of Metroid? What? What do those two games have to do with each other? Anyway. Black Mesa, that's a top 10. Black Mesa is automatically a top 10. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, I'm putting this over Black Mesa. These tiers are ordered, by the way. So, right now I have this at number 1, and then I'm putting... Alright, this one, all the VR games are probably going to make people the most salty out of everything. Because people have such weird reactions to VR, because they've not played VR most of the time. And since they can't play it, they tend to get like salty and be like, oh, it's just a stupid gimmick. It's dumb. I don't want to, I can't play it, so it sucks. And it's like, that's not how this works at all. Boneworks for me is a top 5 game. I love Boneworks. I cannot rant about Boneworks enough. I think my video still holds up pretty well. That video is one of those videos where it was like a love video for this game. And I don't get to make many videos like that. Because a lot of the videos I make are just like, look how bad this game is, because everyone wants to see a train wreck. But like, I love being able to make a video about a game that's just really good. That like actually, I have a lot more to say about it instead of just look how bad it is. It's bad in this way. Like, you know, I want to talk about good games occasionally. Metroid Prime is kind of weird, even though it's considered one of the best games of all time. I think it's super cherished. No, but I do have to put it in the FPS category. It's its own thing, but it's definitely a first-person shooter, even if it is a Metroidvania. That was one of the other rules, is that I didn't include immersive sims, because I feel like those should get their own like subgenre at this point, and they would get their own bracket if I did one. All right, Borderlands 2, I'm putting this down here. I'm gonna be honest, I don't dislike Borderlands 2, but I like the first one way more than the second one. I don't know, I thought Borderlands 2 got way too grindy. Enemies were way too bullet spongy. They were always over-leveled compared to you. I didn't have anywhere near as much fun as the first one, personally. And I know that's controversial because Borderlands 2 is generally considered the best one out of the whole series. So, I never played Borderlands 3, so I can't speak on Borderlands 3. Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway. This one surprised me because it beat some other games that I didn't expect it to. I also had quite a few people that were salty saying that Hell's Highway was the worst Brothers in Arms games and you should have included the first two. And what I hear out of that is, I want my game to basically not be a shooter and to be only a tactical game. I think Hell's Highway is by far the best one. The first two can be really annoying. I mainly just want a shooter, so. Borderlands 3 is mid, I've heard that a lot. Borderlands 1 is more of a treasure hunt than 2. Borderlands 1 has an atmosphere that's just different, right? It's less Gearbox humor in your face, and more just explore this vast desert of nothingness. And also the loot drops are just more fun to me. Like, you can get a really good gun that you will use for the next 10 levels, and you'll feel like a god during that time. And that just doesn't happen in Borderlands 2 unless you grind a boss over and over, and I hate that. It's like they took everything out of dungeon crawlers that I don't like and put it into Borderlands 2, and I'm just not a fan of that change. But okay, I think I'll put this top 30. Yeah, I like these more than these games. It was a very good game, and we're never gonna see how it ends because we're never gonna get another Brothers in Arms game. It makes me sad. Call of Duty 4, this is going very last place. This is only here for the prestige of Call of Duty because everybody really likes Call of Duty. I've talked about this a lot. Call of Duty 4's campaign is one of the most overrated things of all time. I don't get it. I do not understand why people love it so much. It's so on rails. You have no control. It's just an interactive movie. AVP2? Yeah, AVP2 is this one right here. Conduit 2. This is a game that a lot of people were surprised were there. I got a lot of comments about Conduit 2 that were something along the lines of like, well, why is this in here? I eventually put coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb in my spam. I got so fucking tired of seeing that stupid phrase. It was so annoying because people used it when it didn't even, when it wasn't supposed to be used. They just used it when it was a game they didn't recognize. Conduit 2 is one of those games. I think people scoffed at it just because it was on the Wii. If they re-release this game as a PC game without any of the Wii aiming, because this could use normal controllers by default, like, this would still be a solid game. Like, this is exactly the style of shooter I love playing. I think this is top 20. Like, I actually love Conduit 2. In fact, I like it more than BioShock. Like, it is incredibly underrated. Not enough people have played it. If you have a PC that runs Dolphin, go download this. Go play it on Dolphin. Like, it's really good. I don't think you need to play the first one. You're not missing much by skipping the first one. Maybe we'll be confused by some of the story, but who cares in this case, to be honest. Black Ops 2 is your favorite COD campaign? Eh. Conduit 2 story, don't give a fuck about logic. Yeah, pretty much. I really can't rant enough about it. It is stupid underrated. Crysis. Where do I put Crysis? I feel like top 30. It's kind of where I'm going with this. Crysis was good. It looked really good. It was visually beautiful. I don't know. I think it was a good game. I don't think it's top 20 good. I think I'll put it up. Yeah, I'll put it above No, I'll put it below Brothers in Arms. Crysis 2, this is where it's going to get controversial. I liked Crysis 2 more than Crysis 1. Depending on who you ask, that's the obvious choice, or you're speaking heresy. But I also think this goes here. I might bump this to top 20. I don't think Crysis 2 is top 20 all time. I'll leave this here for now. I'm going to be shuffling these around. Doom 2, I mean, this has to go to a top 10, right? I might lower it later, but it has to. Same thing with Doom Eternal. Oh god, this is going to be hard. Do I put Doom Eternal above Boneworks? I think I have to, right? It is such a polished game. Like, mechanically, it's just flawless to me. I might move these because my heart is more of Boneworks. Like, I have more fun when I'm playing Boneworks. I'm usually more in the mood to play Boneworks. But if we're talking a solid game, like, Doom Eternal is just really, really fucking good. Duke Nukem, I've never been a Duke Nukem guy. Gonna be real. Where do I put this? I'm putting in the way down here in the top 50 tier, but like, actually, I think I should probably put Borderlands above Black Ops, if I'm gonna be honest. No, man, this is gonna be difficult. Like, the little shifting is what becomes difficult for me. I do think Duke Nukem's better than the other ones. I don't know. I don't think Duke Nukem 3D necessarily aged fantastic. I never really liked it back then either. For some reason, build engine games, aside from Blood, like, never really clicked with me. And I was never really... not to say I wasn't on board with them, because they were good, but for some reason I play them and just get bored. I have no idea what it was. But I've always felt that way about build engine games. Even like Ion Fury, I said Ion Fury is a very good game in my Phantom Fury video, and that's true. But personally for myself, like, in my own fun, how much fun I had with the game, I got bored of it, like, pretty quick. I played it a good amount because I made a video on it, I had to. But, like, I don't know, I just got bored. Couldn't tell you why. Duke Nukem is an Arnold parody. Duke Nukem is an 80s everything parody. I don't care about Duke Nukem as a character either. I think it's just what teenage boys thought was really cool back in the 90s, and, like, even back then I thought it was stupid. I don't know, he's a dumb character. I can't take him seriously. And people argue you're not supposed to, but, like, there are people just that think he's just a cool character, and no. He's like Johnny Bravo, but tries too hard. Ion Furry. Is my microphone being static? Blood Dragon just does it better. Well, because Blood Dragon does different types of action movies better. Blood Dragon does the more Aliens type of action movie, whereas Duke Nukem tries to go for like the Arnold type of action movie. Yeah, I played the original Shadow Warrior. It's good, but also, I don't know, it also never grabbed me. I loved the reboot. I still need to make videos on the reboot. Butts. We like butts here. I didn't finish Far Cry 2. A lot of people didn't. I know a lot of people's reaction when they got to the second map was, oh my god, there's this much more to the game, fuck this. And then they just stopped playing. So many people did that, but I love Far Cry 2. Far Cry 2 is a top 10 game for me. It's definitely, do I put it above or, this one's difficult because like, it depends on my mood. If I want a serious game, then Dr. 69, what a name. Resubbed. Thanks for the resub. Brothers in Arms and Killzone were the first two games you remember playing as a kid? As a kid, wow. Man, I found a new way to make people feel old. So my roommate's birthday was like last week. I was like, how old are you going to be? He's like, oh, I'm 27. I'm like, you turned 18 9 years ago. He was like, come on, man. Why do you have to tell me that? Anyway, Far Cry 2 is the game I want to play if I want a serious game, and then Blood Dragon is the game I play if I want a goofy game. I think Far Cry 2 has more replay value because Far Cry 3 is just bite-sized, so I think I put Far Cry 2 over Blood Dragon, but like, those are easily my two favorite Far Cry games, like, by far. Like, there are so many complaints I have about the other ones, but these two, I don't even think about the complaints. I just forego everything about them. They're just fun. I just love them. F.E.A.R. This goes way up here. Do I put F.E.A.R. above Doom Eternal? I think I do. I like F.E.A.R. more than Doom Eternal. I think Doom Eternal is the more mechanically wound, tight together game, if that makes sense. But F.E.A.R. is just fucking good. It's F.E.A.R. F.E.A.R. didn't get as far as I thought it was going to in the bracket. It made me sad. But this is up here for me. How many do I got out here? I already got 7 in my top 10. Doom 2 is probably going to get bumped out. GoldenEye, this goes in last place. Straight up. This is the one game, hot take incoming, this is the one game that I think doesn't even belong in this bracket. I put it here just because I knew people wanted it to be here, and it should for historical reasons, but at the same time, if you already played PC games when GoldenEye came out, GoldenEye wasn't a good game. There were already other good first-person shooters that came out before. Hell, Half-Life 1 came out half a year after it. Like, this was only relevant as a stepping stone to make first-person shooters playable on console. And that's all GoldenEye was there for. And even then, that got erased when Halo came out, and everything followed Halo for that. So, like, I don't know. When GoldenEye lost the very first round it was in, there was so much salt in the comments. Oh my god, GoldenEye fans just could not believe, couldn't believe that people thought that it was against, I think, Metro 2033. They couldn't believe they thought Metro was a better game. Like, bro, it's fucking Metro. Not everybody is, like, that nostalgic about GoldenEye. This is the one time where I do actually think a lot of it is nostalgia, because this was one of the first shooters they had played, because they played on console before. This was a lot of people's first-person shooter if they didn't play on PC. But if you already had the full picture, then it didn't matter. Also, yeah, the one real good thing that GoldenEye did is that it led to both Perfect Dark and Time Splitters, two genuinely good games. So yeah, this thing will stay in last place. There's nothing else that's, like, way far out of last place. Shouldn't even be, this is the one game that shouldn't even be in this bracket. Oh, where did we go here? Now, this one's going to be hard. So, just telling you outright, I think Half-Life 1 is better than Half-Life 2. That's where my opinion is. But I don't know where. I think I'm going to put Half-Life 2 right after Black Mesa. Because I would rather play Black Mesa, but I'd rather play Half-Life 2 than Doom 2. It's a top 10 for sure. It's for I think I gotta put Half-Life number 1. It'll be hard to bump Half-Life out. I love me some Half-Life. Like, if there's one game I've gone back and played more than anything else, it's probably Half-Life. Yeah, I'm gonna bump Doom 2 down here. Because I'm gonna end up bumping it out of the top 10. Am I ever gonna play or review Sin? Probably not. Doom 64 was a better shooter than GoldenEye? Yes, but it wasn't 3D and everything was moving to 3D at the time. Also, everyone just thought Doom 64 was like a N64 port of the original Doom. Like, they didn't advertise that very well. No one knew what it was at the time. But speaking of Doom 64, I still need to make a video of Brutal Doom 64. I will get to that eventually. I really want to. Game's fun. Am I a pterodactyl? No, I have arms. I mean, I do have wings. Wings are here. He's a red lizard. I mean, dragons are lizards. Mostly dragon, some T-Rex. Okay, Halo 2. Now, keep in mind, this is just ranking the single player. This is not ranking multiplayer at all. So, not taking multiplayer into account is going to bump both the Halo games down quite a bit. Because Halo multiplayer is fantastic. Easily some of my favorite of all time. Where do I put Halo 2? I think I gotta put it right after Half-Life 2, right? Yeah. Yeah, it goes there. But then we get into this situation where like Halo 2 and Halo 3 are so close to each other, I don't know which one to put over the other. I think Halo 3 is by far a more polished game, but Halo 2 is a better story. I think out of fun, more often than not, I want to play Halo 2 more than Halo 3. I don't know why it is. Because Halo 3 is like the better game, but I want to play Halo 2 more. I have no idea why. I should play Half-Life 2 on Xbox. The problem with that is I would need to get an original Xbox, then find a way to record it, and it would kind of be too much of a pain. I don't think Half-Life 2 is backwards compatible all the way up to the Xbox One. And my 360 cannot read discs anymore. But for the record, I did not actually burn my 360. So many people were so mad that I did that. It's still sitting right next to me. I didn't do anything to it. That was just a bit. So these are our top 10. I think Halo 3 is on the bump. It may get pushed out. We'll see. Oh, something else I had to clarify is that by saying this is the best single-player FPS game of all time, this is also the best single-player and co-op game of all time. So many people got really mad at that distinction, which is very weird to me. Because single-player and co-op are so close to it. Like, co-op is closer to single-player than it is multiplayer. When I think multiplayer, I think PvP. That's what I think. And PvP is clearly different than co-op. So co-op belongs here. That's why that's why Killing Floor and Left 4 Dead 2 are here. Killing Floor's... I want to put a top 10. It is definitely in my like top 10 most played games of all time list, like if I'm looking at my Steam account. But I don't think I can put it over anything in top 10. Yeah, I think it's good there. I think that's solid. Oh, I definitely like Killing Floor 1 more, for sure. I still need to make that video about whether Killing Floor 1 is better than Killing Floor 2. I do want to talk about that a lot. Killing Floor 2, I don't know. I played it a good amount, but like, it just wasn't anywhere near as good. It was very different from the first Killing Floor game. Just insanely different. Okay. Killzone 2. This goes way down here. One of those overrated Sony exclusives that Sony fans swear by. And I looked at it and I played it and I'm like, this is just Call of Duty with a sci-fi coat of paint. I did not think it was very good. I thought it was extremely I didn't think it was bad. I just thought it was extremely overrated. Like Warhammer. It doesn't look like Warhammer. Looks more like sci-fi World War II. Killing Floor 2 lost its viral mojo. Killing Floor 1 had way better atmosphere. Yes. Like, Killing Floor 1, the best way to play Killing Floor 1 was generally to get your party together and try to hold out in a specific spot of the map. If you got overrun, you were pretty much dead in Killing Floor 1. Like, you needed to work together and you needed to not get forced into a situation where you had to outrun the enemies because you probably weren't going to live. In Killing Floor 2, it plays out more like an arcade game, like you're playing Nazi zombies or something, where you're just having to circle strafe and kite most of the enemies for the whole damn time. It's just it's a lot more arcadey, and I don't find that anywhere near as fun. I would love a mod for Killing Floor 2 that made it play more like Killing Floor 1. Also, I can't be the only one that feels this way. This is not really relevant to like whether the game is good or not. But Killing Floor 2's weapons the animations for them are like wobbly. Like when he goes to after he reloads and goes to steady the gun, he like shakes it around a bunch before finally settling it down. It makes it like awkward to figure out where it's shooting. It's like just fucking point it. Yeah, Killvor, what the fuck? Killzone has really good lore, really cool art style. Everything about it is really cool. But the gameplay is kind of ass. It's not that great. Aside from the multiplayer. We're talking about single player, keep in mind. Just single player. Killzone Mercenary, on the other hand, this is top 20. This is absolutely top 20 to me. This game is really, really good. It is the only genuinely good Killzone game. And unfortunately, it's stuck on the Vita. Like, why is it the best one is stuck on the Vita? That's so unfortunate. Like, if you haven't played it, I would really recommend if you have the ability to. I would love it if they ported it to Sony consoles in some way. I don't have any Sony consoles, but at least put it somewhere to where more people can play it. Because it has the setup where you have different levels you can choose. You can choose your loadout, and you get certain points per levels, so then you can unlock new guns. So you have, like, incentive to keep playing. It doesn't take itself too seriously. You have freedom to go throughout the levels. Like, it doesn't feel like an interactive cutscene. It's just really, really good. But no, you'll never play it, because it's only on the Vita. I'm hoping they eventually put it on Sony consoles, on, like, PS5 or whatever PlayStation that will be the current one at the time. Because they did port the PSP Killzone game, which was also pretty good, but that was a top-down shooter, so that's not in here. Why is it the handheld Killzone games are actually good, and then the standalone ones aren't? That makes no sense to me. Okay, next up, Left 4 Dead 2. I'm gonna be real, I never got into Left 4 Dead. I respect it, I like what it does, but it was never really my thing. I don't know. It never really appealed to me. Probably because I was already playing Killing Floor by the time Left 4 Dead came out. And I would much rather play Killing Floor than Left 4 Dead. I only play Left 4 Dead for mods. There are some silly mods. I still think it's better than these. Because it's a good game. It just I never really cared about it. At all. I gotta do this. I gotta put Black Ops below Borderlands. Alright, Metro. This is where I gotta bump something out of top 10 for this. Right? The Metro games are too good not to be top 10. God, I fucking love noise cream. What do I do here? Do I bump Halo 3 up? Yeah, I agree. I think Metro Exodus is easily the best one. This is my personal list, yes. This is not the results of the poll. If we're talking just single player, I gotta bump this down. I actually think I'm gonna put Halo 3 below Killing Floor. Because we're purely talking single player. If we're talking multiplayer, this is a wildly different story. But I gotta put this up here. I might put this above Halo 2. I think I have to do that. Like, this is a very finely curated single player experience. It probably should be higher, to be honest. Where do I put this? Do I put it above Half-Life 2 in Black Mesa? Just below Blood Dragon? I'm kind of feeling that. Yeah. That's kind of heresy to say, but I'm kind of feeling that. It's difficult because... No, I can't do that because I'm trying to say this on, like, repeat playthroughs. I have played Half-Life 2 and Black Mesa so many more times than Metro Exodus. So... I've played Metro Exodus like twice. I'm sure if I played Metro Exodus as many times as I played these two games, I would not want them to be above it. Because I'm speaking out of replay value there. So I think I'll leave it where it is for now. Metro, I don't think Metro 2033 gets top 10. I do think it goes above Killing Floor, though. I think there is fair. Metroid Prime is hard. It's very good, but it's very different. So I don't really know where I want to put this thing. Nowhere in the top 20. Because if we're just talking about FPS stuff, it is very good. I think I'll put it probably top 40. I think it goes above Bad Company. I think I'll put it above AVP. It's very good. It's just difficult. Could see Far Cry 2 getting pushed down. It's fun, but as long treks if your vehicle dies, I don't care. Give me the long treks. That makes it better. It stays where it is. I love Far Cry 2. I love it so much. It's easily my favorite Far Cry game. Depending on my mood, if I want silly, then it's Blood Dragon, but most of the time, Far Cry 2 is my favorite. Anyone playing AVP2 multiplayer? I don't know. I'm sure there's a community out there for it. Nightmare Reaper. This one made people salty that it was even here, but my reasoning for this being in here was because I included the games that I gave Game of the Year for the last few years. And Nightmare Reaper is so underrated. Like, amazingly underrated. I think I gotta put this top 30. Yeah, I'll put it above Crysis. I like it that much. Like, very few games. Okay, so when I review a game, I play at minimum like 8 hours of it. I preferably would love to beat the game. And for 99% of games, I do. For another 0.5 of games, they're so bad, I just say, fuck it, I've seen enough. And for the other 0.5, they're really long, and I don't have time. And Nightmare Reaper is one of those games where it was really long and I didn't have time. I put like 15 hours into it and still hadn't beaten it yet. And then worked on the review, got that done. And very few games I go back to and just play on my free time and just chill and play the game. Usually a one and done games. Nightmare Reaper is one of those games where I went back to and I just like constantly played it. Like, it's just a really, really addictive game. Almost finished it twice now? Yep. It is just, it's so good. They definitely took the approach of fun above logic. Because there are some things you can get in Nightmare Reaper that just break the game. That will make your frame rate like 2 FPS. It is really funny. Okay, Prey. Where do I put Prey? Prey is top 20 for sure. Prey is one of the most underrated first-person shooters ever. I really, really like Prey. I'm gonna do it. I like Prey's campaign more than Halo 3. Hey, Lucix. That'll make some people upset, but like, Prey 2006 is so good. No, Prey 2017 isn't in here. Immersive Sims didn't count for this. So. Quake this is a hard one to rank because it changed shooters a lot, more for its tech than anything else. But as a game, it kind of just, in my mind, gets forgotten. I think I'll put it right about here. We got 2 more in the bottom top 50 spot. You definitely need to play Prey. Prey is really good. Definitely one of the best intros out of any game I've ever played. You haven't got a chance to play Prey 2006? Well, good news. Prey is abandonware, so you can go download it for free with no moral wrongdoing. It is on abandonware.com. They just left that game to die and then killed the sequel and didn't let it happen. So that's really annoying. It really is a unique experience. I mean, it's on the Doom 3 engine and kind of feels like Doom 3 if not. I have no better way to describe that. It's just such a weird experience. Oh, things just got very difficult. Rainbow Six Vegas is a top 10 game for me. I put an unreasonable amount of time into Terrorist Hunt. We are including Terrorist Hunt, by the way, because it is best single player and co-op. If it was just single player, it wouldn't be top 10, but with Terrorist Hunt, that's really hard. I don't want to push Halo 2 down. I'm feeling, honestly, like I might put Black Mesa down to top 20. Because I do prefer Half-Life 1 over Black Mesa. And just by merit of it being a reimagining of Half-Life 1, probably doesn't belong in top 10 for that reasoning. Albeit a very good one, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Do I like it more than Halo 2? Maybe? I don't know. That is hard to say. I like both these 2 games a lot. I don't know. I could not tell you what one I played more. If it was single player, well, I definitely put more time into Terrorist Hunt single player, but I put so much time into co-op in both these games. And I know we're not talking about multiplayer, but I also competed competitively for Rainbow Six Vegas. I won more tournaments than I lost. I was like one of the top players in that game. I got into competitive Halo, but I wasn't really involved in the Halo scene because the competitive Halo scene is kind of shit, and I didn't really want to be around it. I never really caught strays or anything, but like, you know, when you go into a community and the vibes are just, wow, this really sucks. This is super toxic. Like, that was the vibes I got into right away with Halo, and that never changed. So, I didn't really do much there. But I super got into Vegas. And it got done dirty in the polls. It is way better than it gave it credit for. I don't know if I put it above Halo 2. These 2 are like tied. Like, I love both these games a lot. If we're just going on single player, actually, if I was going on single player and multiplayer, you know what? No. I gotta put Vegas above Halo 2. I have to do it. I just put so much time into it. Abiotic Factor. Didn't that just come out? Blood West. Blood West. Which game is Blood West? Isn't that stealth game? Okay, Resistance 3. Resistance 3 is really good. I think I'll put it here. I don't like Resistance 1 and 2, but Resistance 3 is very fun. It's just Half-Life 2. Let's be real. But it's a good one, so who cares? You learn from the best. Serious Sam, The Next Encounter. Tons of fun with a co-op game. Think I'll put it here. Yeah. It's the second encounter, not the next encounter. Okay, Stalker, this is where I might lose people, because I never truly got into Stalker. I need to play it more to have any sort of valid opinions on it. Because I played it enough, but it went hella far in bracket, and I have learned people really fucking like Stalker. Like, I already knew, but I did not realize how much they did. For me, I gotta put it like top 30, but it's not in my top 10 or top 20, personally. I think it's above these two. Right there is about it for me. Feels like an acquired taste. I mean, it's my kind of acquired taste. Like, that sort of Eurojank is, like, perfect. Is that just all you think? Because it's not just stealth? I've seen gameplay of it. A lot of it was stealth. I just want to shoot shit. Sorry, it's just not generally my thing. I genuinely want to make a video of Into the Radius before I make a video of Stalker, just to see how mad people will get. Because that would be so funny to me. If you don't know what Into the Radius is just Stalker in VR. It is really, really good. They're also working on a sequel right now. I mean, you can shoot it in Blood West, but it's pretty hard. Yeah, that's the point. It discourages you from doing that. That's generally why I don't like immersive sims either. Star Wars Republic Commando. This is a top 20 game for me. We're never getting a sequel, which makes me so freaking sad. Man, I want more Republic Commando. I want more games like Republic Commando. Like, Rainbow Six Vegas and Republic Commando are kind of similar to me, where they're like arcade games, but they're like pseudo-tactical. And that has always vibed with me. I don't want a full-on tactical game where I have to like plan out my approach and do it like the old Rainbow Six games. I don't care about those. I don't really, and even to the extent of like SWAT or something like that, I don't really care about it. I want to be able to jump in and play, but I want the gameplay moment to moment to at least feel tactical to an extent where you die quick and so do they. Republic Commando wasn't finished on launch? What do you mean? It very much so was a finished game. Ready or Not's the game I was trying to think of in my head when I said SWAT. Like, I said SWAT and I was going to think of another game. Like, what is the name of that? Yeah, Ready or Not's good. It's just, I generally don't want to plan things out. I kind of just want to play. Yeah, I played Bulletstorm. I don't think it's top 50 good, but it's good. We need more Star Wars FPS games. We do. We need less lightsaber flippy games and more genuine first-person shooters. Dark Forces is, I think, top 30, maybe top 40. I might put it down here. It's very good. I'll put it here for now. I don't think it goes above Crisis. I'll put it there for now. I might bump it down. Oh god, this... I have so many games that in my head I'm like, yeah, that's definitely top 10. And then I look at it and I'm like, shit, where do I put it? Can it really be top 10? The darkness is one I have to push something down. All right, I've been wanting to keep Halo 2 here, but I gotta bump it down to top 20 because we're just talking about single player, not multiplayer. Keep in mind. And the darkness is an absolute top 10. If we're just talking single player, I'm putting it above Half-Life 2. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna rethink this. I think Half-Life 2 really needs to be bumped up a lot. I think this looks better to me. This makes sense in my brain. Yes, I do think Boneworks is more fun than Half-Life 2, but this is with hindsight, like going off today, not when the game first came out. Because Boneworks is just more Half-Life. Like, it's just Half-Life in VR. Like, and to me, you know that experience you had in 2007? When every game was like new and fresh. There were so many experiences like The Darkness, like Halo, like Call of Duty 4 coming out that you had never played before. That's what playing Boneworks for the first time is like. It had been so long since I really appreciated a video game that way. I wish The Darkness was available on PC with mouse. I wish it was available on PC just so it'd be easier for my friends to play it. It's a game I recommend for people to play so much, and they like the only way for them to play it because they don't have consoles. They only have a PC. So the only way for them to play it is they have to download a PS3 emulator, and that's just too much work for people to do. So they just don't. They just won't. Oh, I have 11 in top 20. I gotta put this down. I'm putting this below Nightmare Reaper. That's gonna be crazy, but like I have more fun with Nightmare Reaper. BioShock is a really good immersive experience, but gameplay-wise, I mean, Nightmare Reaper is more fun. I care more about that. Time Splitters 2 is a top 20 for sure. I'll bump this down as well. I think I'll put this above Nightmare Reaper because this game is genuinely very fun. And that... Does that go above or below Halo 2? Instinctively, I want to put it below Halo 2, but... God, I put so much time into Time Splitters 2. I loved Time Splitters 2 so much. Why isn't Doom 3 on this list? Because I only chose 2 games from each franchise. Otherwise, the entire bracket would have just been like Halo, Doom, Half-Life, Far Cry. So I had to limit it to 2. The reason there's 3 Half-Life games is because I kind of looked at Black Mesa and went, that's not an official Valve game. But people kind of consider it to be canon. So it was a weird gray area, so I decided to throw it in there anyway. Future Perfect, this may seem weird, but I don't think... I liked Time Splitters 2 a lot more than Future Perfect. So I think that would go down here. Is there anything above that I consider it better than? Yeah. No, I'm swapping Conduit. I love Conduit, but I can't in my right mind say that it's better than Time Splitters. Or Doom. Or Republic Commando. I could say it's better than these. Future Perfect has less GoldenEye in it. It sure does, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, especially when it comes to aim. Oh my god, the aim is so bad in Time Splitters 2. I'm so glad I can fix that with emulators. I don't remember there being QTE in Republic Commando. There are no quick time events in Republic Commando. What? Also, Republic Commando definitely was a full game with complete ideas. Like, what? That game was insanely good. Kind of want to play it again now that I'm sitting here talking about it. How have you never played Far Cry? How have you never played all of these games I'm talking about, Lusix? for context, Luis is a friend of mine, and there's so many games he just like hasn't played. No, it wasn't. How was it not a complete game? I ever played Deadlink? I need to. Under the Mayo has been pestering me constantly to play it. I have it. I've had it since launch. They gave me a key. I just never really got around to it. Mayo was ranting about how good it was for such a long time. All right, this one's gonna upset some people. Titanfall 2's campaign is one of the most overrated things of all time. It's good, don't get me wrong. It's definitely above mediocre. But my God, Titanfall 2 fans talk about it like it is God's gift, like the best thing of all time ever made. And I'm like, how? How have we come to this conclusion? It's a short game. The enemies are so dumb. Like, that's the thing that really made me not too crazy about it, is that you have all this mobility. You are so powerful. Yet the enemies are these stupid, dumb, standard Call of Duty enemies. And that's just, like, boring. Like, there needs something more here. I don't get it. Like, the mech parts were fun, because that was different. But the general gunplay was just, okay, I can run at 1,000,000 miles an hour and they can't do anything. Like, give me enemies that can have, like, my mobility. Can actually challenge me. Or have, like, more weird enemies. Like those animals you fought at the beginning of the game. Like, I want more stuff like that. And then everyone talks about that, like, time travel level. That was one level. And then you never see it again. Like, there's so much potential with Titanfall's campaign. But it's just fine. It never becomes excellent or great. It's just fine all the way through. It's just good. But then people act like it is the best. There were so many comments that genuinely are like, anyone that doesn't think Titanfall 2 is the best game of all time is just fucking stupid and their opinion's dumb. And like almost word for word with just stuff like that. Like they were that pressed about it. Like how? You guys are crazy. Republic Commando's stupid little mini games of hold button for 30 seconds to defuse the bomb while taking damage. That's literally the part of the game. That's the point of the game. You missed the game. Like, you're supposed to tell your squad to do that, have them hold up, defend it. That's the tactical part of the game. It just sounds more like you didn't like the concept of what the game was. Also, it's not a QTE. I wish we had a full game that was like the time travel. Yeah, then the game would be really good. Or at least something. It might have overstayed its welcome if you did that, but it's very good. It's really weird because, like, I don't know. Multiplayer, I can easily see the argument of it being like a top 10 shooter because it's really good. But single player, I don't get it. Turok 2 it's good. We need more dinosaur games. I'll put this here in top 40. I think it belongs there. Oh god, now we're at Ultra Kill. We have 3 out of the 4 games remaining are insanely good games, and I have no idea what to do. Dude, I'm still mad we never got a dinosaur Far Cry game. Primal is not a dinosaur Far Cry game. Primal is just a random survival game that didn't take place with dinosaurs. I know humans weren't alive during the time of dinosaurs, but Blood Dragon also exists, so shut the fuck up. Nobody cares about realism when it comes to that. I'm actually meaning Redux when I say Metro 2033. I'm meaning the most solid playable version of it. All right, where do I put Ultra Kill? I don't think I put it top 10, as insanely good as it is. it. I want to put it right here, which means I'm gonna have to shift everything down, and that's fine. Yeah, that works for me. I love Ultra Kill, don't get me wrong. And Vertigo 2 is, believe it or not, this one's way harder for me than Ultra Kill, because I love Vertigo 2. Vertigo 2 is in contention for the best VR game of all time. What kind of evolution would I choose for a dragon to have and why? Are we talking like Pokemon here? Button prop, QTE, minigames, whatever you want to call it. It was always half-banked and brought the game to a freaking crawl. No, I just think you don't like what the game was doing. No, I think the game was very solid and an extremely good game, and it's just not for you. Because that's what people liked about the game. Like, how dare the game that's trying to be tactical have tactical components to it? I really do need to play Jurassic Park. Trespasser. I need to make a video of it eventually. Everyone's done a video of it, but it's up my alley. It seems fun. Thoughts on Half-Life Alyx? It's fun. I do like it. I don't think it's the best VR game, though. My problem with Half-Life Alyx is that it's really limited as a VR game. Like, Valve understood that this was going to be everyone's first VR game. Well, not everyone, but most people's first VR game. Like, so many people bought a headset just to play Half-Life Alyx. And they needed to make it approachable, and they needed to get people to get their VR legs, so they needed all these comfort settings, and they needed it to be simple. And as a result, you are just a floating bar of hands, a headset, and you only have 3 weapons, and that's pretty much the whole game. It's really, really polished. Like, insanely polished. But it leaves out so many other things that other VR games do. Like, say, a Boneworks or Vertigo 2. There's no two-handed weapons, you can't melee. Like, not having a melee option in Half-Life is crazy. There's just so much stuff missing from the gameplay aspect of it. I'll never forget the first time I played it. And a lot of the mods are good, but I just don't think it's on the same... I mean, it's in the same tier, but nowhere near as good as Boneworks. Or Vertigo 2. Or even Vertigo 1. So where do I put Vertigo 1? I really want to put Vertigo 1 in top 10, but like... Could I knock any of these out? You know what? I think I'm gonna move Vegas down. I know this will make people mad, but this game is genuinely this good. People really, really need to play more VR games. I don't have PSVR 2, so I can't speak on any PSVR games. Wolfenstein, I think this just goes on here. It was influential. I left it here because it was kind of the first FPS game. It goes above Call of Duty, though. Does it? No, I think here's fine. It kind of has the same sort of legacy that GoldenEye does, where it was like the first. It doesn't exactly hold up to age very well, but it needs to be remembered somehow. Like, would I tell you to go back and play it now if you've never played it? No, don't bother. I would say just go play the Wolfenstein reboot. Like the New Order, which this gets difficult. I don't know where to put this. I think top 20 somewhere. What would I bump down then? Bump Doom 2 down? I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's really fair, actually. And I'll put Time Splitters above Doom 2. Fuck it, sure, I'll do that. And I think as a campaign... So recently I was going through, and what was it? I think it was for, yeah, it was for that video where it was the best protagonist, FPS protagonist of all time. and I was getting a recording of some of the cutscenes from the New Order, and I just forgot like how brutal that game is. Like that game is just really, really good. Like the tone to it is amazing. I know Fallout New Vegas isn't specifically an FPS, but where do you rank it on here? I wouldn't, because it's not an FPS, so I like can't compare those. I think I'll put Serious Sam down here, and Stalker can stay there. Do I move this above Metro? No, I don't think I do that. Do I move Metro above Black Mesa? Also, I gotta put 2 up here in top 40. Right now I'm feeling that, because there's 48 in total, so there's gonna be 2 extra slots here. Yeah, I think that's right for those 2. All right, so let me look through this and make sure I have all of these correct. Where is Wolfenstein 2 the new Colossus? Not here, because I didn't put it in bracket. It's good, I just didn't think it was top 50 good. Okay, Half-Life is definitely the best of all time. Like, without a doubt. F.E.A.R. after that, like, those 2 games are the 2 games I talk about above everything else. And I literally have a Doom Eternal hoodie and so much, like, Doom stuff. I love Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal, from mechanical standpoint, is one of the smoothest flowing games I've ever played in my life. I think top 3 is fair. I think in 10, 20 years, we're going to be talking about Doom Eternal in the same way we talk about Half-Life, OG Doom. Like, it is one of those games. No, you're a nerd. In fact, I know you're a nerd. I think Quake's campaign is much more solid than Doom 2, but Doom 2 has a much better sandbox. I just find Doom 2 to be way more fun to play. I don't know what it is about it. I think Doom 2 just aged better. It has a unique feel. Like, I don't know, something about Doom 2 is more playable in 2024 than Quake is. Probably because we've seen so many boomer shooters. I don't know. It's something about Doom 2 is just timeless. Doom 1 and 2. A lot of people thought I probably should have put Doom 1 instead of Doom 2 in here. But Super Shotgun, all I have to say. Blind nostalgia and acting like it's one of the best games of all time, and why no sequel? It's not as polished as competitors. Half-Life 2, F.E.A.R., Halo 2. I mean, Halo 2 isn't polished. There's a lot of things I would call Halo 2. Polished is not one of them. But also, nobody is saying it's as good as Half-Life or Halo or F.E.A.R. In fact, it's significantly lower in my list than those games. But also, it's not nostalgia. That's one of the things I really noticed in the comments. When I was making every community poll, like every single time in the comments, people were like, oh, people are just blinded by nostalgia. And a lot of times it was so fucking funny because it would be like Half-Life 1 against Halo 3. And people would be like, oh, people just are voting for Half-Life 1 because of nostalgia. I'm like, dude, Halo 3 came out in 2007. Like, well over a decade now. The only reason you're saying it's nostalgia is just because you disagree. That's not how that works. People have nostalgia for both these games. It's the stupidest argument to throw out against pretty much anything. Like, I think the only game in this entire list where nostalgia can be a decent argument against it is Nintendo 64, or even maybe Wolfenstein 3D, because they were the first, right? Like, GoldenEye 007 was like the first-person shooter that was kind of playable on consoles. So if you only played consoles, you really didn't play any before this. But even back then, I didn't think it was great. Star Wars Republic Commando, I made a video of it only a couple of years ago. It's still fantastic. I still fucking love it. It's a great game. I don't know. There's a weird hate boner for that game. But I think top 30 all time is pretty darn fair. And I also think there's a lot of games that people just don't give enough credit. Conduit 2 is probably like the most hidden gem thing in here. Because being a first-person shooter advertising to the hardcore market while being stuck on the Wii is a questionable marketing choice. Because people that want to play those shooters are not playing them on the Wii. Halo 3 campaign is overrated? I don't think so. I think Halo 3's campaign is the most polished of them all, but I think Halo 2 has the best story. I don't know what it is. Halo 3 is definitely like the better game, but I have more fun and want to play Halo 2 more than Halo 3 for campaign. Even actually for multiplayer too, I don't know what it is. Because Halo 3 is just better. But fun factor doesn't care about logic, I guess. Some of the HD models or some of the guns are better than the base weapon models. Only the shotgun. I think the shotgun's the only one that's better. Okay, let me skim through these and make sure I got these all where I want them to be. Top 3, top 4. I'd say top 5 are definitely where they should be. I genuinely love Boneworks this much. Boneworks is such a goddamn good game. Boneworks is one of the reasons why you buy VR. Like, I can't stress enough, the kind of experience I had playing Boneworks for the first time is just so good. It's the same sort of feeling I had playing Half-Life 2 for the first time, or Half-Life for the first time. Or like Doom Eternal when it finally clicked. Like, it is one of those. Love me some Far Cry 2, love me Blood Dragon. The Darkness, I wish this was on PC so I could tell more people to play it. It is such a good story. Like, I'll give you some helpful advice for people that are getting into VR. The first game you should play when you get into VR is definitely Half-Life Alyx, because that is like the easy game to get into. It's meant to be baby's first VR game, and I don't say that in an insulting way. It is very good as your first game, but if you get your VR legs and then play like Boneworks and Vertigo, you might be disappointed with it because it just doesn't do as much as the other games gameplay wise. Insane graphics and really good story, and like that element is still there, but the gameplay is a little lacking. So I would generally say play Half-Life Alyx first, and you will go through a honeymoon phase and love VR and love Half-Life Alyx. But then after that, play Boneworks once you've got your full VR legs, and you start to realize so many other things you can do in VR. And then Vertigo 1 and 2. Like, those are like my top 4 games. And you have to play Vertigo 1 before Vertigo 2. Even though Vertigo 2 is a significantly better game, Vertigo 1 is still good, and the story is important for the second game. So it's required to play it. I mean, it's in my top 10. Like, I love this game so much. Metro Exodus is also up here. I think the top 10 is solid. Top 20, things get a little more difficult. But I think they're solid. Both Halo games are in top 20. Not in my top 10 for campaigns. I love Vegas for Terror Stunt mainly. That's why it's there. Without Terror Stunt, I think it would be way lower. Time Splitters 2 is one of my most played games in my childhood. I love this game so much. Ultra Kill, it's weird, because I feel like gameplay-wise, Ultra Kill kind of just does what Doom Eternal does, but dials it up. And I talk about it all the time, and I think it's really good, but I can't put it above anything above it. Half-Life Alyx is paced really well for an intro to VR. Half-Life Alyx is just paced really well in general. Like, Half-Life Alyx proved to us the Valve is still Valve. Their set pieces are still really good for what they are. It's just the tools at your disposal are limiting. Everything else is really solid, if that makes sense. I think top 20 is solid. I don't see anything I would move. Future Perfect being just out of top 20 is kind of crazy. Same thing with Doom 2. Do I like Crysis 2 more than Resistance? No. No, I don't think so. I think this is pretty solid. I don't see anything else I would want to move here, so I think this is my final list. All right. I think I'm done with that. Half-Life Alyx 2 waiting room. Hey. Don't give Valve ideas. They will make a Half-Life Alyx 2 10 years from now and still not make Half-Life 3. Insomniac doesn't miss a weapon creativity. That is for sure. Insomniac definitely knows how to make games that are creative. Unfortunately, Resistance 1 and 2 I thought were not very good games. It was lacking a lot of other FPS stuff, but Resistance 3 was just Half-Life 2 again, so I'm fine with that. Opposing Force is also insane, yeah. Opposing Force or Episode 2, those two are my favorite out of the entire Half-Life franchise. Half-Life 3 will be brain implant only, but at this rate, yeah. Good reason to make children is so that your bloodline will eventually play Half-Life 3. Yeah. Yep, that's the only reason. Only reason I'd ever have kids. Those little shits are annoying. Punt them through field goals. Let me, I'm gonna pull up something real quick. Photo load. Jesus, man, it's being slow. There we go. Here, I'll just do this. Because so many people don't know what this game is. You know, actually, I can just do this. Beat that. Just raw. I mean, I don't know if this gameplay is going to be good. It's IGN. He's probably playing with the Wiimote. You can play with a controller, and it plays perfectly fine with the controller. But like, if you've never played this game, go download Dolphin and go play this game. It is just a very, very solid, like, mid-2000s first-person shooter. Wasn't on phones? No, the first one got ported to Android. This one never did. I don't see why you would play it on phones if you could play it on Dolphin anyway. In fact, one of the arguments people had against this game was just that they were tired of, like, quote-unquote generic shooters. And there was definitely some burnout of this style of shooter by the time this game released. But now I look at it and I go, okay, we're not getting these anymore. Also, yes, the main character is John St. John. And usually he has... John St. John has a wide range of voices he can make. But it just fucking sounds like Duke Nukem. All right, let me see if I can... Okay, let's go back. Oh, hey, a full walkthrough. All right, perfect. On Dolphin, you can definitely make this game look better than what we're getting here. So... it's got that juicy headshot sound that is the same sound as when you melee Halo CE Marine. It's identical. It's the same sound. I'm trying to find somewhere where the main character speaks. I made a video of this game, by the way. So if you want to know more about it, you can just check that video, or you can just play it. Like, go play it. This game is so good. I think there was a spot before he started shooting at these guys where he was talking.
Oh, crap. Seem to be attracting more of the Leviathan's attention. Really?
Okay, that was not enough audio for anything.
Get it. The orange spot. Oh, I get it. The orange spot.
It's not a good example. Hold on, I have one in my video I'll have to find. This is Conduit 2. This game, I put this in here because I think this is easily, like, top 50 best shooter of all time. But nobody played it. This is one of the most hidden games, despite not being, like, an indie game. Like, this is a AAA release. It just only came out on the Wii. And that audience base that would play this style of game was not on the Wii. I didn't play it until a couple years ago. And then I was like, wow, this game is really, really fucking good. I wouldn't bother with the first one though. It's unless you really want to play all of them. Like, it's okay, but you know. Let me see if I can find. I don't know when I covered it.
Case, it feels pretty good. To add on top of this game.
Oh, I can make you see here two of me.
Support, which is
Your mind is overloaded now.
One addition they needed to work into the controls, and that's sprint, which didn't exist in the first game. The Wiimote and nunchuck.
All right, so I was talking about gameplay there. Cutscene. All right, here's a cutscene. This may work.
When the first one was called The Conduit. Why did they drop
Back before I went
out
to
of that?
my
Just
V2
keep it
model.
Consistent. Anyway, moving on to the story, this is where this game actually improves from the first game. The first game's story wasn't great or bad. It was a pretty generic conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I had to drop the
All my
legendary hat when I
was
went to
that it
this
was
model.
presented in
I could have someone make it
a
for this model, but fuck it,
way.
why would I bother?
Most of the story was a black screen with text, and that was it. Conduit 2 tries a lot harder. Oh, had Cheater's voice Nukem.
Prometheus, where's Adams?
There we go. That's exactly what I was looking for.
Sounds exactly like Duke Nukem.
Prometheus, where's Adams?
Like, you could just tell it's John St. John. Like, it's just Duke Nukem. It sounds the same. I mean, I look good no matter what. A lot of people left weird comments where it's like, why are you swapping to V2? Are you just, like, afraid? Are you, like, ashamed of what you look like? I'm like, bro, I've been making videos for over 15 years. Do you think I care? Like, obviously, it doesn't bother me. I've also even posted just, like, stuff in my private server where it's just like, hey, look, picture of me doing shit. And then people were like, I've not seen what you look like. I'm like, how? I've made so many videos. How have you not seen what I look like? I still have the hat, by the way. I genuinely wear this hat all the time. This is when I was up in Seattle like a month ago. Something like that. So there you go. For those of you that didn't know what I look like, that's what I look like. I just enjoy this model. Wow, my voice is dying. I just enjoy this model like way more. I have so much more fun making videos of this. It's also just easier rather than having to shave, put up my camera, put up my lights, do all that. I can just launch VTube software and just start playing. And that doing less work to do your work, so much easier. Do I like Weezer? Weezer's okay. I usually listen more to like metal and stuff. I would play it, but then I would get demonetized. So I'm not doing that. What are the games in here people probably not seen? Vertigo 2? People probably have no idea what Vertigo 2 is like. Vertigo 2 is such a fucking weird game, man. Also, wait, hold up. I gotta go here. So Gianni voices one of the characters in this game. Perfect person to grab. And they know how to advertise games.
The level editor lets you build your own levels from a joy to behold. Alternate playable characters. Do you hate women? Of course you do. You're a gamer. Now you can avoid.
I love these guys. That came out of me having a rant in my review of this game because people would not shut the fuck up about the fact that the main character in this game is a woman. It's like, this is so irrelevant to the game. Shut the fuck up. I just hop on VR chat and go to worlds that relate to the video making. Yeah, pretty much. I pretty much just, I put on my full body tracking, put on my headset, and find a world that's relevant to the videos. When I am making a review of a new game that's coming out, I tend to not use my model because at that point, people are just looking for the review and they're just looking for information and just want to see things. They're not interested in like bits or whatever. So I tend not to do it there. So I lure them in. I have them watch the review and then they subscribe and now they're watching a dragon and they don't even know. My trap has been set.
Hi, I'm Gianni Matrograno, internet funny man and Vertigo 2 cast member. I'm here to tell you about Vertigo 2 and what to expect from its imminent release. Vertigo 2 is a built-for-VR first-person shooter coming to Steam this March. The game is what nerds like to call a half-like, a game taking after Valve's
We made it.
classic Half-Life series. The Half-Life genre.
I unironically love that I've made that like a standard thing. Game devs are literally just advertising their game as Half-Likes now.
In the recent years. This kind of game is marked by building a believable, interactive world, telling a story through a continuous first-person viewpoint, and indulging in plenty of spectacular set pieces. The setting will be familiar, primarily taking place.
I really want an ODST style, an ODST, Halo ODST game that plays like Rainbow Six Vegas or Republic Commando. That would be like the perfect game.
In more exotic environments, including the open ocean, flora-filled caverns, and an entire underground city. For these levels, inspiration has been taken from Half-Life 2's more open-ended sensibilities, including.
So yeah, this game is really good and also very weird. Like, just really, really strange. I wonder how much they'll show in the trailer. Also, to clown on the Game Awards show even more, this game wasn't even nominated for VR Game of the Year. Like, not even nominated. And there was nothing else that should have even come close to it. But also, it was the same year that PSVR 2 released. So, like, of course it's not going to get nominated. You have Sony there to eat everything. It's not suspicious at all. Because, like, you could remove the VR aspect of this game, and it would still be one of the best games I have ever played. This is probably copyrighted, so I'm gonna mute that. It's just a fucking weird game. People are really mad that Bone Labs did not win VR Game of the Year. I think only Quest users were, because Bone Labs was not great. Okay, more gameplay, please. I love you guys, but you're really not good at making trailers. Actually, it's not them being bad at making trailers. It's trailers fucking suck nowadays. Like, this tells me more than most trailers do, but most trailers that happen tell me fucking nothing about your game. They're stupid cinematics, and I'm like, okay, cool. What the hell is the gameplay? I don't even know what genre this is. Like, this tells me nothing. It's so annoying. Let me just go. here. I actually made a short about this that tells you almost everything you need to know about this game. It's an annoying resolution aspect ratio, but whatever. You'll get the point. Vertigo 2 is one hell of a game. Half the time I was captivated by these bizarre yet beautiful worlds. The other half of the time, what the hell is that? This game is very strange. I fucking love that game, but I don't know what the hell is going on. I will excuse some trailers, like Gears of War, we already knew the gameplay, but also that initial trailer was really good. Like, it got the general vibe down, it got what the theme was supposed to be, but it came out alongside gameplay trailers. Meanwhile, the Halo 3 one, I don't think we really needed gameplay trailers because we already knew what Halo was. So people were going to buy it already. You might buy go play Vertigo 1 and then Vertigo 2. You have to play the first one before the second because story reasons. But yeah, it is Vertigo 2 is easily one of the best VR games like of all time. I put it up there along with Boneworks. It's just that good. What are the game up here have people not played? Because there was a few obscure games that nobody saw. Well, I won't say no one, because it's never nobody, but not many people had played it. I think Nightmare Reaper is the only one people were like, what the hell is Nightmare Reaper? They just did not know. So let's look up some Nightmare Reaper. Yeah. You do need, I like how my video is the first one that comes up when I look at Nightmare Reaper. Nightmare Reaper is also one of those games that quoted me on their store. It also has a soundtrack by Andrew Holsholt. So, look, there I am. Civvy, me, and then Screen Rant. Cool. I find it weird that I've been quoted on so many different Steam stores, but I've never gotten an Easter egg in a game, somehow. Maybe that'll change with Sulaco? I don't know. I'm just looking for raw gameplay. Here we go. This is very early on in the game. Like, it's fun early on, but it takes a while to really get going. It's one of those games where it also doesn't look great. Like, I complained about this actually in the video I made of it, where the pixel art for the weapons and enemies could definitely be touched up. But the gameplay itself is very solid. I spent a long time just kind of like praising this game. Civvy did the same. I had the same thing, where Civvy and I had the same exact reaction to this. We're like, oh, okay, we have another indie game, another pixel art indie game that's a roguelike. We've seen so many of these. It's probably just spam my email. But fuck it, I'll give it a try. And then we start playing, we're like, oh, this is actually really fucking good. It's not really like the other ones. It looks like it, but it's not really. Let me see. Maybe I had some more chaotic gameplay in here.
Heard of before.
This was pretty early on in the game. I don't have any footage. There's Easter eggs there. Did I just play the music?
And audio is done by Andrew Holsholt from Doom Eternal, and about a million other games. I am not complaining. One of the first things I noticed when I started playing the game is that the music is really good. I didn't read the event summary before I started playing the game, so my experience was, this sounds super familiar. And then when we're in early access, yeah, this is 100% true. I'm still finding new weapons.
Okay. I thought I played the music, but I guess I did not. Okay, whatever. The main point is you can get weapons that have like different variations to them. So you may get a shotgun that has a random projectile, and that random projectile happens to be cannonballs, and those cannonballs happen to be on fire. So you can have a shotgun that shoots a spread of flaming cannonballs every time, and those cannonballs will bounce off of walls and leave trails of fire behind them, and this will kill your frame rate to about 5, but everything in the room explodes. It's so stupid. Stuff like that can happen totally at random in that game. I love it. I don't know, man. He's just copying me. Also, I'm not white. Just fun fact, I'm Arabic. Parents moved here, or grandparents moved here from Syria. Yeah, I'm in the Sulaco Discord. Sulaco is coming out soon. God, I have been so busy this month. I really probably should be ending stream soon so I can get back to editing. But, oh my God. Okay, so Phantom Fury came out sometime around here. I don't remember what date it was. Embargo lifted around there, and I had to get that video done. I only got it like 3 or 4 days before the game came out, so I had to crunch that out. Mullet Magic coming out on the 15th. I'm working on that right now. Really, really fucking good game, by the way. Go play it. Well, play it when it comes out. Go buy it. I love that game. The best way I can describe it is Mullet Magic is to 80s/90s anime that Blood Dragon is to like 80s action movies. But still, the gameplay is really fucking good. So it's just insanely nice. But yeah, that comes out then, so I got to get that done. I want to get this video done of this FPS tournament with this stuff by Friday, to post it on this Friday. And then Sulaco comes out on the 31st. That is difficult for me because not only am I having to work on all these videos, I'm running a Rivals 2 tournament this weekend on Saturday. The Rivals 2 tournament has about 35 people, and more people are still signing up. For a game for a tournament I did no advertising for, and is only Pacific Northwest locals signing up. It's pretty good. But this is also the very first Rivals 2 tournament. I've never run it. So, new game for me to run. So I'm running a tournament this Saturday. So I got to do that on top of all the embargoes lifting. But also, there's a convention. Memorial Day weekend. The 25th, 26th, like around this time. But I have friends flying in on that Thursday, and they'll be here till the next Thursday. Whereas Sulaco comes out the day after they leave and go home. And they told me I'll be getting the key for that on the 20th. I asked if I could have a few more days. That basically means I need to play all of Sulaco and make an entire video of it before the 23rd. I need to have that done by the end of Wednesday. Like, I asked them if I can get it by like the 17th so I can do that over the weekend and get more time. But like, also on top of that, since people are going to be here this week, I can't work that week. So I need to double my video production. So I have a stockpile of videos to post while I'm not able to make videos. So I've been doing that for the last like month. I have no free time. I don't know what free time is anymore. Is the Rivals 2 tournament going to be streamed? Yes, they always are. They're never streamed on my channel. I will be streaming this one to the official Rivals of Ether channel, like I usually do. Rivals 2 is really good. It really reminds me of how Rivals of Ether was in the early access build. Some things are really, really broken. Actually, every character is just a nuts punish game and kind of needs to be dialed in. But the base loop is fun, so I'm not really worried about that. Rip my free time. I'll have free time once this convention comes around. By then, I'll be done with all my work. Hopefully, I won't crunch too hard on the Sulaco video. I'm getting pretty close to there because I already have multiple videos ready to go. I'm working for this video. I'm working on the Mullet Magic video, and also I'm working on this FPS tournament. Next week, I should only have to make one video. My plan is next week I'll probably cover Brutal Doom 64 next week. and have that done before the weekend when hopefully I'll get a Sulaco key early so I can play through that. And then once I'm done with the Sulaco video, I should be free for a couple weeks to not have to do anything. So that should be good. But I have to plan all this stuff out whenever I do some sort of an event. But I at least have a job that gets me into a position where I can just like, all right, I'm just going to work myself to death for a month or whatever and double my workload and then take a few weeks off. So that's good. Hey, Terry. Coming to my chat, already giggling. Where's my music? Oh, there she goes. Set her off. How long have I been streaming for? I've been streaming for an hour and 40 minutes. What the hell? I've just been sitting here talking the whole time. Did not feel like it took that long. Crazy. I played the Avatar FPS game. I have not played the new Avatar game, no. But okay. You finished Cyberpunk? You actually finished a game? I don't believe you. You know, I could pull up the unlisted videos I have of Terry playing F.E.A.R for the first time. I could do that. Terry had a really fun time playing that game. You're lucky. Lucix hasn't played F.E.A.R and I don't want to spoil it for him. Otherwise I would. F.E.A.R is very good. I mean, that's why I have this as like #2 best FPS of all time. Terry still needs to beat Half-Life 1 though. She has become terrified of ladders. Which, to be honest, I mean, that's fair. Ladders are the true enemies in any FPS game. But she's also really bad at games. You're on a plane tomorrow. Fox is flying way over to Atlanta. I'm gonna dox him. Go attack him. You wanna play F.E.A.R but you don't want to spend 60 on the bundle? Go to GOG. Here. You can get F.E.A.R and this comes with both expansions for only $10. Don't bother buying the stupid, dumb, huge bundle thing that you're forced to buy on Steam. I don't know why it's that way. It's dumb. But you can just spend $10 and get the original F.E.A.R, and it comes with Extraction Point and Perseus Mandate. I wouldn't say don't bother with Perseus Mandate, but play Extraction Point after you beat the first game. Oh, Terry's now double subbed. Also, Fox always gives the sub to Nightbot. Yeah, I initially was gonna put this in top 10, but I think Vertigo 2 knocks it just out of it. I mean, it's a Half-Life experience. It's just really, really good. Alright, later, Paladin. Also, yeah, Fox, you're gonna be hyperventilating. Go drink a ton of water. Iced tea does not count. Go drink water. What's my favorite survival horror game? I mean, I'm not going to include F.E.A.R in that because I don't. It's kind of stretching it to call it survival horror. Probably Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is just such a good game. I think Silent Hill 2 is in the running for like the most respected game of all time. Your pleasure liquids. I hate those words. Nobody on my channel would ever watch a survival horror bracket. No one cares about anything other than first-person shooters on my channel. But okay. I would love to continue streaming, but I really do have to get back to work editing videos because I have 2 videos I need to get done this week. Preferably before Thursday, because I really do need all the time I can have before running a tournament on Saturday. And like other things are popping up. Oh, so fuck. Sunday is Mother's Day. I gotta do that shit too. I had a lot of stuff to do, so I should probably go stream. Or stop streaming. Go back to editing. So okay. Thank you guys for showing up. Been fun. I'm gonna be putting this in the video information when I make this video, so you guys can do this stuff on your own if you want to. Alright. See you guys next Monday, probably for some Brutal Doom 64.